Good evening and welcome, as Ryan has always said, to Cloaks and Daggers. This is the part of the evening where we'll be talking about deception and deviousness, suspicion and subterfuge. My name is Sam Holland. I'm the award-winning author of the Major Crimes series, following detectives as they investigate, I have to read this, I don't know my own biography, as they investigate murders committed by brutal serial killers in the south of England. My latest, The Killer in Room 5, is out now. But some introductions. So, let's start at the far end. Erin Kelly is the Sunday Times best-selling author of novels such as The Poison Tree, The Sick Rose, and He Said, She Said. Her most recent novel, The Skeleton Key, was the Waterstones Thriller of the Month in September 2023, has been optioned for TV, won the General-Busting Book of the Year category at the Capital Crime Fingerprint Awards, and was a Sunday Times top 10 bestseller and Times #1 bestseller in paperback. Ooh. Very impressive resume. So, Abir Mukherjee is the best-selling author of historical and contemporary crime thrillers. His books have won numerous awards, including the Theakston Old Peculiar Crime Novel of the Year, now this is French, Prix du Polar Européen.
Oh, mais oui! C'est parfait.
He won a French award. And a British Book Awards Crime and Thriller Novel of the Year. Abir grew up in Scotland and now lives in Surrey with his wife and 2 sons. And last but not least, you will recognise this lady, Sunday Times best-selling author Harriet Tyce grew up in Edinburgh and studied English at Oxford University before practising as a criminal barrister in London for nearly a decade. She subsequently completed an MA in creative writing, and her first novel, Blood Orange, was published in 2019 to huge critical acclaim. Harriet was a contestant in The Traitors Series 4. So, Harriet, I'd love to start with you. We're going to have a couple of Traitors questions before we get on to the main stuff. Now, first of all, did you enjoy it? Because looking in, it looked like this incredibly intense experience.
Yeah, it's exactly how it looks. It is incredibly intense. And, I mean, I think I've said in a number of interviews that it became real to me. You are completely immersed in this world where you're hunting down who the people are who are trying to murder you. And you are also isolated from all of your normal kinds of support because you don't have your phone. And you've got no one that you can say, well, would it be a good idea if I go into breakfast and yell at everyone? And you know, your family would say, well, perhaps not, Mum. Maybe you just need to have a bit of sleep and you'll feel better in the morning. So it was extraordinarily intense. And I think that the pressure of it is something, you know, your character does come through, you know, for better, for worse. It just is. But I think fun is not the word, but it was an extraordinary and unique experience, and I'm very, very grateful to have had that opportunity to be truly immersed in a murder mystery without anyone actually dying.
Did you have any preconceptions going in, and were they met?
I knew it would be hard. I didn't know how hard it actually would be. And that, I think, you can't really prepare yourself for what it's going to be like. And the weirdness of being, you know, knowing that you're being filmed as well, and knowing that, you know, you've got microphones on you at all times. So there's just so much surrealness. And also, you know, because I'm an avid fan of the show, which is why I put the application in. And so to walk into a set that is so familiar, you know, that was just like a weird suspended reality of, you know, I'm in the barn, in the kitchen. There are jelly babies in that jar. You know, it was, the snacks are amazing. Fridge full of food. It was lovely. So no, I mean, it just mental, surreal, and, you know, I think I'll be processing for a long time. Yeah. But at least it's all caught on record, so I could watch it back.
Have you watched it back?
Oh, only at the time.
And
never again. Never, ever again. No, never again.
So let's talk about Witch Trial, which is your latest book. It's a brilliantly twisty courtroom drama as 2 young women are charged with the murder of their best friend. What was the original spark of the idea? Was it the witch aspect, or was it the courtroom, or
it was the courtroom.
Else?
I was interested in writing a novel about jurors because it is mainly from the perspective of a juror on this trial. My then editor suggested that perhaps a teenage defendant would be interesting. And for a while I was just writing a courtroom drama from the perspective of, a number of different jurors. And it was only when I went to see The Crucible by Arthur Miller that, is the sort of the epitome of trial of teenagers who think they're witches. And that was the missing piece of the puzzle. And I went away, read about Salem, read about witch trials across Europe and the UK, and it came together from then. And I had a huge amount of fun researching tarot, Ouija boards, and the supernatural. I'd always been terrified of that as a child and had steered clear of it. So, yeah, I scared myself silly. But it was also, teenage witches, what is not to like? What is not to like? It's fantastic.
Yeah. And there's, without any spoilers, there's a brilliant twist at the end. How much pressure do you feel from readers or from publishers to have this, the twist you didn't see coming that we all see?
I think that we all want to have an unpredictable ending, and it's not something that I'm able to engineer. And as it was, I thought there was going to be a way that I could surprise people. It only presented itself about a third of the way into my writing it, what exactly I was going to do with it. And in terms of pressure, it's like cat and mouse. Readers are so clever, and I get this feedback saying, well, I guessed at page 68, and you think, oh God. I defy anyone to guess this. No one has so far said that they worked out what it was. And I'm happy to put that challenge forward, that I don't think you're going to guess it at all. And if you do, well, hats off to you. Yeah. But I did try.
Whenever anybody guesses one of my twists, I always say, okay, I want you to give it back to me, and I want you to highlight the passage that gave it away.
That's a good idea.
Because sometimes I honestly don't believe them.
And you get a free book.
and sometimes I think, okay, I slipped up there. Very rarely. When I say very rarely, once. But I do think it's, whenever anybody says I guessed the twist, I always want to know exactly how you guessed it, when you guessed it.
Well, I've read that twice and I hadn't guessed it either time.
I think that says more about you than Harriet's writing.
You were happy just to go along for the ride.
Goldfish.
Abir, tell us about The Pinnacle and your long-suffering main character, George.
Oh, yes. Well,
tell us about George.
This has been the most fun I've had writing a book. So imagine sort of 50-something, slightly past a Hollywood A-lister who might or might not be called George, right? He's past his best, he's shilling for coffee and authentic Indian whiskey. In my book, he's called George Abercrombie, right? He's also fallen out with the US president who, might be a bit of a thin-skinned man baby. I've got a great imagination, right? So anyway, George has done one good thing in his life. He's married Sweetie Sahota, right? She was an up-and-coming actress. Now she is the queen of Bollywood. Right? And they decide, because his career's plateauing, hers is going like that, president doesn't like him, they move to Mumbai in India. And they are living in this glamorous building called The Pinnacle, which is just fabulous. It has everything in it, bars, cinema, shopping mall, swimming pool. It's got everything and the best security in India. But it's not all a bed of roses. George is convinced Sweetie's cheating on him, possibly with her ex-boyfriend, Bollywood heartthrob, Chunky Malhotra. Yes. There was an actor called Chunky in Bollywood. I'm just saying, I didn't make any of this up. So he goes out on a bender and he comes back, and in the morning he goes into their bedroom and Sweetie's been murdered. And he's the only one who's been in. And what do you do when 1.4 billion Indians want to kill you? But there's two other people missing. George's servant Amit has gone missing, and Sweetie's PA Gemma is acting very oddly. So what happened? Who did kill Sweetie Sahota? And how are we going to find out? You've got to read it.
So you mentioned Amit and Gemma.
Yeah.
And a lot of your characters, one of my favourites was Missing, who walk the line of the slightly, morally grey.
Everybody's morally grey. There's a lot of arseholes in this book.
How did you...
Most of the characters are based on me. Sorry.
How did did you get that over in the book? How did you walk that careful line between suspect and innocence?
Well, you see, the book actually works on several levels. One is this sort of thriller plot. Another one is this satire of Indian society. And people are great. I think when you're living in a world like Mumbai, when you're living in India and you're not mega wealthy like George and Sweetie, everything you do is a compromise. Every day is a compromise. You have to, you compromise your principles just to survive. So writing these grey characters, I think it was pretty authentic. You know, at one end you've got Amit, who is just a poor, he's basically an Indian Del boy, right? He's a poor boy from a village who's pulled himself up by his bootstraps, not always legally, and he finds himself working for George and Sweetie. I mean, you know, at heart he's a good guy, but he's not above stealing, you know, George's whiskey or Sweetie's underpants and selling them, you know, that sort of thing. So, you know, it's whatever's needed to be done, right? So I had a lot of fun playing with these characters, but there is a deeper message there. There is a society there that doesn't function without its servants, and I wanted to sort of highlight that as well.
Yeah, it's great. Erin, your book, The Night Stairs,
Yes.
is set in, pronounce this rightly, Cordula's Abbey.
St Cordula's Abbey.
Cordula's Abbey,
And the reason
sorry.
it's called St Cordula's is because I needed to find the name of a school that didn't exist for legal reasons, so I had to find the most obscure saint possible to name my fictional school after, because when the working title of the school was Sacred Heart, and I went to a school called the Sacred Heart, and I thought, one look at that, and every teacher who ever went there and half the pupils could probably sue me. So, yes, it's set in a school called St Cordula's, yeah.
And they wear literal cloaks.
They wear literal
capes,
cloaks.
I should
Capes,
say. I
yes.
should say capes.
They wear navy blue capes. That's their signature uniform. The girls are known. They live in the school is in a valley in Yorkshire, and they're not really allowed out. But when they do go shopping in York, they're forced to wear their capes, and the real baddies put their capes in a bag when they go shopping and walk around in leather jackets. Yeah.
So tell us about the story, because it's set around this brilliant premise of the spins, which does slightly get under your skin when you're reading it. You do start to feel a little bit of the spins. Where did all that come from?
To summarise the plot first, there is an outbreak of vertigo and fainting in this girls' school, and all of the pupils think that it is the ghost of a medieval nun called Sister Matilda, who is supposed to protect the school but isn't doing her job right now. And it's a book about stories, and the stories that we tell ourselves and how powerful they can be, and it's specifically a story about what happens when all of these things happen in a closed community. It's what we used to call mass hysteria. And one of the teachers knows full well that Sister Matilda is a legend and has nothing to do with this illness. But if she comes clean about what's really behind it, she risks exposing what happened when she was a pupil at the school, and indeed the fact that she was ever a pupil at the school at all. And as the book progresses, this teacher has to decide whether to blow the secrets of her own past in order to stop another girl dying from the spins, or whether to say nothing and risk losing one of her pupils.
And you mentioned that you went to, dare I say, a similar school.
It was so much less posh than this. So I did go to a convent school in Essex, and it was, I think the nuns were tapering off by the time I got there, bless you, in every sense. But it was still quite a strange environment in that, you know, if anybody is familiar with the Catholic Church, there's a lot of iconography. You know, we would go there, we would get the bus in a world of, you know, showing my age, but in a world of, you know, Walkmans and mini skirts and makeup and clubbing, and then you would walk in and your uniform would be very precisely policed, as would your behaviour, and there were icons everywhere. There were, you know, shrines to Our Lady and crosses with, you know, told not to think about boys at all, and then there is a naked, almost naked man on a cross in every single room, sometimes life-size, quite often kind of sexy. And you know, so it's a very confusing thing you're asking young women to hold in mind. Lots of contradictions. And so I had to go back to my own teenage years, and which wasn't always particularly comfortable when I was writing it.
Was there anything that you were tempted to put in and thought, no, I can't, that you can tell us about now?
No.
versa.
Everything that wanted to go in. I mean, there are a handful of phrases from things I overheard or things that were said to me, or even things that I said to other people in the novel. But it is, I mean, all of crime fiction, what we do is we take something relatable, and all of us have been teenagers. And I know very, very few people who had an easy ride through their education, and I have met zero writers. If we were doing what, living the way teenagers are supposed to, sort of getting high and banging each other around the back of the bike sheds, then we wouldn't have been stuck in the library reading Agatha Christie, and we wouldn't have gone on to have the lives we had. We are not all...
I'm not sure, Erin.
Sorry?
I think both is... It's possible to have done both.
Okay.
Some of us did neither.
Yeah. Okay. This isn't about Harriet's book, but we're finding out some stuff about Harriet. But generally, writers are not people who had particularly... I think if you polled all of us, we were very often quite introverted, sensitive teenagers who observed rather than participated. And that was definitely my experience. And it's something I wanted to write about, being that kind of very bookish teenager whose best friends are books and who is desperate for real friendship. And then the girls in my book, when they find real friendship, they understand how precious it is, and they will do anything, including kill, to keep hold of that friendship.
So a question for all three of you, and just a quick note, the clock isn't working, so I'm just going to carry on asking questions until somebody tells me to shut
I think
down.
you basically you've got forever.
It's working! It's just sprung into action. Brilliant. So a question for all of you. If you had to send one of your characters into the Traitor's Castle to win it for you, which character would you send in?
So I'll go first because I can't answer that. Because if I told you who I need to send into the Traitor's Castle, and I'm telling you, she would win. She would be a legendary traitor and absolutely wipe the floor with everybody. She would make Harry look like an absolute amateur. But I can't tell you what her name is because that would spoil the book.
Fair enough.
I'm mic'd up, of course I'm not going to tell you.
Abir, I was thinking Miss Singh is the one.
Well, no, I'm actually going for somebody else. I'm going to go for, there's a lady who lives in the penthouse.
This is my favourite character. I'm obsessed with her.
Called Roxanne Bunglewala, right? Roxanne, you can picture her. She's basically leopard print clad, gold dripping off her. She's the daughter of the man who built it. Daddy built the building, which is why she's in the penthouse. She's in her 30s, but she's never really found a role. She's dabbled in acting. She's trying to be an influencer, and she would fit in perfectly there. And this would be the start of a new life for her. I think Roxanne...
Do you know what? I think Roxanne would also do a really good job of presenting the show.
Yeah, I think you're very right.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh, yeah, darling, I think I can do that.
Because she's got a strong look, and that's half the battle, it seems, with the Traitors, to have a sort of recognisable character in...
Yeah. I should point out, I hadn't watched The Traitors till this morning. Right? And Harriet says I now have to watch to episode 7, is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It stops after that. There's nothing more to say. That's the end of it.
All the good
That
stuff's
was
done.
the end of it.
Harriet, what about you? Who
I
would
am
you-
going to say Isabel, who is the truly goth witch girl, who seems to have some uncanny abilities, and I think would look the part at the round table. And she's also terrifying.
She'd
And
be in her
she would-
element in those graveyard
She'd
scenes.
love it, and she would
Yeah.
put the fear of God into everyone
She'd
else.
actually murder someone.
Well, it's tempting on occasion.
Once again, read the book.
How good do you think? Now, one of the things of the traitors is they're all convinced they can spot lies, they can spot the traitor. How good do you think people actually are at spotting a liar in real life, and how does that play out in crime fiction?
Not great, actually. I think most of us go through life, unless we have a reason to be paranoid, I think most of us go through life taking most people in good faith, because most people are good, and of course we all tell little white lies. If my husband ever saw my credit card bill, I don't think it would bode well for my marriage. But most people are on the level. Most people aren't out to get you.
That's what we want you to think.
Well, it's mostly true. I don't know what's happened to you, but so no, I think generally we do go through life not second guessing and trusting, which is why some people, which is why abuse happens. Because when you do it subtly, when lies are when they have a long fuse, and when a sociopath decides to put their mind to manipulating someone, that's how people get away with it.
Yeah, I would agree with that entirely. And I think the only reason I was good at spotting people on the show was because I knew that it was possible that every single person would be lying to me. So I was highly suspicious of everyone in my real life. I'm the mother of teenage children, I've been blindsided by a few revelations over recent years.
Has it changed the way, since you came out, did you find it hard to let go of that sort of...
No, I was worried that might be the case, but because it was such a specific environment, I'm not... It was lovely to hang out with my dogs when I first came out, because dogs are so straightforward. You know that there's no kind of fraudulence. But actually, it was very specific to that environment. I mean, I haven't become convinced that everyone I know hates me. I mean, maybe I should, but no, it's not had that effect. But I think it's, as you say, that you think if you take people at face value, then actually you really don't see it coming.
Which is one of the reasons why I don't watch things like that, because I don't want my view of people being naturally good to be sullied by all these liars.
Sorry.
So, well, other than you were brilliant, apparently. So,
I was ridiculous.
No.
And in our last couple of seconds, do you think shows like The Traitors have changed what people expect from crime fiction? Do you think it's made a difference?
No, I think Traitors came from crime fiction.
Yes.
I think it's a country house murder mystery, golden age crime fiction. It came from it. Rather than the other way around. I mean, maybe books with cloaks in them will now sell much more. And I would like that to be a factor, but no, not really. Other way around.
Yeah, we're not changing.
We're not changing. Okay, excellent. Well, we've run out of time. So thank you very much to
Bang
Erin,
on to the
Abir,
second. Well
and
done,
Harriet.
Sam.